welcome to another episode of the Wellness and Growth Podcast. I am your host, Mialisa Garnes. I am the owner of Wellness and Growth Agencies, a digital marketing agency for health and wellness businesses. And today we have in our virtual studio Lucinda Yearwood. Now, Lucinda is a qualified social worker, certified trauma specialist, and a certified nutrition coach who has worked in the areas of crisis intervention, counseling, nutrition, addiction, and societal reintegration. Woo! We can get into it today. Welcome, Lucinda.
Thank you.
Do you want to add any more to your repertoire that you think our guests, our audience should know about you before we get into the questioning?
No, I guess it may come up as we chat, but nothing really to.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we get the important stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
So Lucinda, you started, I guess I don't know if it's a new project. Mom's Haven is Mom's Haven new?
Mumshaven, yes, it
Can you
is.
tell us a little bit about Mom's Haven?
So I'll give you a little backstory first.
Yes, tell us the journey.
With most initiatives, I find they come about out of a passion or an experience, and essentially that is how Mumshaven came about as an idea. About 17 years ago, after I was pregnant with my daughter. I did all the things I thought I should have done, the Lamaze classes, everything. But after I had her, even though I did have the support that I thought I was,
Needed?
that I
Yeah,
was, you know, I benefited from it because everyone doesn't have what I had. I still
right.
felt like something was missing. And it's so crazy within that year, when she was about 8 months, I actually got married. So understand, within my postpartum season, I was
Uh,
planning a wedding. I think that was so insane. And then shortly after getting married, about 2, 3 months in, I found out I was pregnant again. So I
Double whammy.
bec- oh
Triple
yes,
triple whammy.
became pregnant. I became a mother of two under two. Having my second child, it was easier to me because it wasn't the first time I've experienced it. But I still felt like something was missing. And I kept saying, I want to do something for mothers. I want to do something for mothers. I couldn't figure out what the something was and what exactly was missing until maybe when they were around 9, 10. I had this aha moment
Right.
and I got the name and I registered the name. And I realized, because initially I thought maybe there wasn't enough stuff. Because when I first got my daughter, for example, there was a shortage in breast pads. I got it from like a baby store.
There was a shortage in breast pads.
There was a shortage, yes.
Oh, okay.
And we couldn't find lanolin. I found it. I happened to find it in the bottom of a shelf in a supermarket. I was like, there should be things all one place. But fast forward
Exactly.
to when they were about 9, 10, then I realized it's not just physical things that mothers need, is the support. It is a community. And having the background that I did have, I thought it would be very useful to, share the talent that I share, my skills, in addition to what I've learned, what my journey has been like as a mother, will be a plus for mothers. However, it didn't just start there. I was hoping it did. When I really thought it was going to start, then there was COVID. And
Yeah.
so that put a whole halt on a lot of things. And it took about another 5 years roughly before I was able to say, okay, let's do this. I'm going to push through regardless. And so here we are after all
Okay.
this time. Yeah.
Yes. So then, in essence, what is Mom's Haven?
So Mumshaven is matricentric community. Is mother centered. It's a very sacred and safe space for mothers. It is a place where mothers will not only get an education, but they will be empowered, and all the tools and solutions that they need, we will have here for you, mom. Oftentimes, everything, of course, when you target a mother, you tend to target the children, because once you target a child as a product, the mother's gonna come. But the mother has been pushed aside.
Yeah, on the back burner.
Yeah. So even from pregnancy, you feel really well. But ideally, when you think about it, it is about the health of the child. Each
Yes.
month when you go to the doctor, and
Yes.
after the baby is born, you realize everything's about the baby, and you
Yes.
are just here almost in isolation.
Yes.
And so it's a place where we are seen.
A place for mom, even though that's like a old folks home from what I remember. But that just came to mind when you said that.
Yes.
Because yeah, they definitely, and I think I said that in one of my podcasts as well. Like I felt the same way when I was pregnant. There was like these back to back kind of doctor's visits, and I remember my OBG literally told me off because I had missed the appointment. I was like, well, did you did kind of soon? I don't see what she's like. No, you need to come to all your appointments.
Yeah.
Scolded me kind of thing. And then so after that, it was like radio silence until the 6 week checkup. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's and you go through so much in the first maybe week or two being home with baby, and and I had my baby during COVID as well, so that made it even worse. So no village, no community,
Mm.
being first time parents, and just like dealing with like a tiny human who cannot
Mm-hmm.
communicate exactly what they need except through crying. And people say, oh, you just get to learn the baby cry. Listen, I can't tell you that I knew what any of the crays mean except like distress.
Yes.
Like, wait, what? Wait, this is hunger, this is sleep,
Yeah.
you got air. I don't know if if you've heard it and if you
Yes.
could understand the craze, but for
Well,
me,
yeah, I wasn't sure either, because my daughter, to me, she was always crying and she always wanted me. I couldn't differentiate which cry was for what.
and I gotta
But
tell you, I also felt like a failure in a way because
yeah.
like I couldn't recognize these so-called cryptic craze. I was like, oh wait, are you supposed to know exactly what your baby need
Mm-hmm.
from the cray? Well, I don't. So we trying things. Like
Correct.
he might be sleepy. Oh, he might be hungry.
Yeah.
He might be fussy. Maybe he just bored. So it's like, yes, you get to learn your baby, but don't come to me telling me
Mm-hmm.
get to know your baby cry and I can
Yeah.
maybe it worked for other moms. I'm not knocking them,
I
but
hear
it
you.
definitely did not work for me.
And that's the beauty about Mumshaven. I encourage mothers. Motherhood is experiential. You cannot paint it with the same brush. There's a lot of information that will be out there. And yes, some information you can take and apply. A little bit you may say, okay, I can just take some of that. And some you just have to disregard because your family dynamic is going to be different. The type of child you have, the type of mother you are, it really, there is a wealth of information. However, it is not for everybody.
Agreed.
And a lot of what we are doing now is educating mothers in terms of terms. So when mothers say, but I'm supposed to do this or I'm supposed to know, I ask, who says that? Where do you get this
Exactly.
from?
Exactly.
And so I actually started doing some research and I found out about patriarchal mothering. I was like, patriarchal mothering, what's this? Essentially, that is society telling you what a perfect mother should look like. And
Wow.
these rules essentially were established by men who have been
Of
running
course.
society, right?
Right.
So then the feminists came on board as well. And they didn't make it very good for us mothers because then we started to feel that yes, we want jobs, we can do things, we want equality. However, it turned into, oh, y'all want equality? Well, you gotta be superwoman because the expectation of being a mother is all up here because you should know this, you're a mother, in addition to getting to work on time and doing all of these other things. And I find during COVID, it really brought a lot of mothers to a breaking point of what am I doing here? Like,
Right.
this
Right.
is not it anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot do this. And oftentimes persons thought it, and yes, COVID is a part of it, but then we have applied the pandemic on top of all of this. The reality hits you as this is not, this is not a thriving life. This is not what I expected motherhood to be. And then we start to feel guilty because we are resentful.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, this is natural. So, when we have these candid conversations, the authenticity of Mumshaven is so rich. And so mothers are so appreciative that we could have these real conversations and not feel judged or condemned or, horrible. When really it is understanding where this these theories came from so that we can move forward and we
Agreed.
can be our best selves, our best mother as a person, as an individual, as a parent, and as a partner.
Agreed.
Not, yeah.
And times are changing too, because I do remember I want to say the generation from before. Women were working in and around the home as opposed to going,
Yes.
leaving the home, going to their office jobs and stuff. So they were there to rear, the
Mm-hmm.
children. And in addition to that, especially in the Caribbean, a lot of the moms didn't even leave home. They might not have been married, or they may have, but they're still in and around the family home. So
Yeah.
their mother was there, or
And if
their
they had
aunts were
jobs,
there.
it was cottage industries and all. Like there were seamstress
Yes,
or they would bake
yes.
all
So
weekends.
yes, they will be in and around the home. So
Mm-hmm.
they were kind of present. So now we transition into women going out into the workforce and leaving and going to jobs, and these jobs being quite demanding and time
Yes.
consuming. Then some benefit from leaving their kids at family, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But then there are others who don't have that, I guess what they call village, right?
Yeah.
So you got to take your kids to nursery, and as young as maybe 3 months. I know in America, what you get like 6 weeks. So
Yeah.
you got you. I know, right? So you pretty much, I've seen so many times, especially from the moms in America, like the devastation that they feel to have to
Mm-hmm.
hand over their tiny newborn
Yeah.
over to a stranger to watch, and
And then
then the
childcare is
guilt.
even more expensive.
Exactly. And then the guilt, no, of
Mm-hmm.
not being there to, yeah, watch your child grow and get all
Mm-hmm.
the milestones. And,
Yeah.
it has changed and it's tough. And we definitely need to learn and how to navigate for this time.
Oh yes.
And then COVID, oh my gosh, you spoke about COVID. The talk about no community there. If you wasn't living with,
Yeah.
your community, then that made it even more tough.
And
I
there's
just
some mothers that I try to work with, and it was still hard because you see that you want your child to be safe, and I don't know where these people are coming from, and yes, I need the support, but I don't want my child to get sick, and I don't want to get sick, and so it was like this
exactly
spiral, this mental spiral. It was so devastating, honestly.
because you got to worry about, if I remember correctly, you got to worry about crib death, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
Yeah.
so
See?
everybody talking about it.
Yeah.
So like that is in your mind, and
Mm-hmm.
then you hear stuff. I don't know. I suppose you might have heard, oh, you can't kiss. Don't let a boy kiss your baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then no, we got
Every
COVID.
day you hear someone die, you hearing like 10 people died.
Yes. So no, when you would have wanted the help, you wanted the community, you wanted the support. No, you're like, nah, don't come near
Yes.
me, don't come near my child because I don't want anything to happen to my child. But then you still need
Mm-hmm.
the help. I remember my mother-in-law, she cooked us some food, and oh my gosh, it was, you know what I mean? It was such a help. I was like, oh, yeah, yes, food that we have to prepare, and we tired, and we,
Mm-hmm.
lack of sleep and everything.
Yes.
You definitely kind of need that help. And know that I mentioned food. right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have your background in nutrition coaching, right? How does your nutrition coaching kind of integrate into your work with moms, especially
Okay.
during critical transitions like postpartum specifically?
All right. So this part of the education. So moms, like, I am letting you know this is why you should be a part of Mumshaven, not just from postpartum, but essentially from postpartum onward, right? So after you have a baby, the placenta comes out. The placenta actually leaves an 8-inch scar in your womb. And so that's why we are also bleeding, because it's us healing, and this the wound is getting smaller. The best way to heal, not just the womb, but also to bring overall balance, because what's happening is your womb is trying to become the size it was before you got pregnant.
Yes. And you can feel it too when it
Huh?
starts to shrink, especially when
To
you're
shrink.
breastfeeding. I
Yes.
I can feel it trying to
Contracting.
yeah.
And then hormones are trying to become balanced again, because there are different hormones that are helping with the health of the baby. So now it's like, okay, we don't have the baby here, so now we are gonna go on somewhere else, and the ones that are supposed to do what they're supposed to do are gonna come in, and then the other hormones are supposed, the oxytocin, to help with breast production, is gonna come in. So it's like your body is like in total overdrive, and that is also
Right.
a reason why persons have postpartum anxiety or postpartum depression, because your body is like, let's say, doing its own thing, keeping two humans healthy or alive. And then it's like, okay, it's just one human that we gotta reset. And it's all happening in a matter of days, like in the first 3 days. And
After
so
birth.
after birth, so it's the womb, the hormones becoming balanced again, and your body producing milk. Those three main things are happening all at once. And so it's essential to know how to eat, because whatever's going on in your gut affects your brain. And so, if you do not eat the right things, then your mental health is gonna struggle. So, there's a gut brain connection. So, assist with the healing are good things that we know about: using warming spices like ginger, turmeric, anything that's anti inflammatory. You've ever fasted before?
Yes. Yes, I have.
So, after having a baby is kind of like fasting, how you should eat for at least the first 2 weeks.
Seriously.
Yeah. So when you come off a fast, you shouldn't be like, yeah, boy, you done with this fast against your fat. And I can do the
Listen,
most.
you know I can go down. I know if you saw the memes on the Instagram and stuff with the big plate of food and the drink
Yes.
there and the timer clock and they're just waiting after 6 o'clock
Oh,
to just
yes.
dig in.
We really shouldn't do that with after we've given birth. That is essentially, we have to have, like, we should take softer, soupy type foods with
Okay.
the turmeric, the ginger that's warming, all the anti-inflammatory type things you can have. You utilize, you make sure you're hydrated, because again, your body is in overdrive. Some of us experience sweating,
I was just gonna
night
say, I
sweats.
remember just literally sweating so much. I felt like I
Yeah.
soaked the entire bed with just
Mm-hmm.
sweat. I was
It
like, what is
happens.
happening?
That's the hormones readjusting.
Okay. And I also
Yeah.
had struggles with breastfeeding
Mm-hmm.
initially. I had like milk coming in, and then when the milk finally came in,
They
having
were
like
engorged.
this no, like having
Oh, well, that's good.
no, I didn't have a good supply.
Oh, you didn't.
No, and then so
No.
I started researching. It's like, oh, it's got like these mothers biscuits or something. It was, where do I get those from?
Mm-hmm.
So that was a trying time for me
Yeah, but you could drink like
initially.
raspberry tea, keep hydrated, drink water, coconut water, things like that too. The hydration helps, and then as long as your baby latches well, it helps with everything.
And
So
that's the other thing
sometimes,
too, latching and trying to
correct,
figure out like what was the right
what
way.
good
And I feel
latch
like
really
that was
is.
a struggle in the
Yes.
initial
So that's
phase.
a whole adjustment in itself. And so you have to be patient and mindful in everything, in terms of what you eat, how you fuel your body, because your body has to be fueled at least in the first month. Be mindful of fueling your body. Now, what I encourage mothers to do, this is how we can kind of create a modern day village of sorts. Especially if you have people in your life, it doesn't have to be a mother-in-law or whoever you know can help. Let them help. So even during your nesting period, while you're just waiting on your baby to come in the last trimester or the last month, particularly, if somebody could do some soups, freeze it for you that you could pack away. Um, shepherd's pie, anything like that. So it's easier for you to just heat up and eat. That is how your village could function. Yes, Lucinda, you may not have all of that freezer space. That's fine. Someone may have the freezer space and would not mind. And they will bring it up during the week for you, drop off. So just like during COVID, how we've had people dropping off groceries and so on, delivering stuff,
Yes.
I encourage them to create like a meal train of sorts with people that would help. So some friends that like to cook may come even by you and you start cooking in batches and y'all pack away. And then auntie, granny, mommy, whoever that is more than willing, the same thing. So you have a good supply of, because let me tell you, when you start to breastfeed, you are always hungry. And then it
Oh my
is choose
gosh.
on
Tell me
what to
about
eat.
it.
And then she's, I gotta bathe and I gotta bathe the child and I gotta, it's all of these things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if there are persons that could specifically help for the different chores, and there's this for your mental health within your, I would, if we could get it for at least the first 3 months, I encourage it. So your mother-in-law, for example, or your mommy may be a lot, but she wants to help. Or mommy, I could leave some clothes at the door, just wash them for me and bring them back. Because we know, oh, sleep when the baby say, all right. And when the baby
Yeah.
sleeps and you look around, the clothes piled up,
Yeah.
you have to find something to eat. And if you have another child, there's a whole other story and homework and all of this, and the house is never clean, and you're just, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part of your mental health during your postpartum, figure out those chores that, especially what you struggle with and who you can pull in to help. Everybody could rotate. That's how the village will work itself out.
Yeah, the other thing too is that you have to find time for yourself because I do
Yeah.
remember having to like do like the sitz bath and every couple of
Mm-hmm.
hours that I can't remember the schedule, but like trying to have that, also trying to have showers at
Yeah.
least, like just doing those two things seemed like it was such a struggle to do and to
Yeah.
keep
There's
up.
not enough time in a day.
Definitely not. And I'm glad that you touched on mental health because I was gonna go to that next.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's a crucial part of your coaching. So you did share a few strategies at first, but are there any, I guess, other mental health strategies that you would recommend to support moms?
Sure. So again, we starting from postpartum. So I encourage the meal train. I encourage, figuring out chores at least for a month, but ideally 3 months. Why? A lot of mothers are actually saying after the 6 weeks check, it's still not okay. Some mothers are feeling like
Exactly.
themselves after the child has turned 2 years.
Exactly.
And so we would require the support for as much as at least the first year, as much as possible with the adjustment, because whenever your child transitions, you, the mother, you're also transitioning. So, okay, you may understand the breastfeeding part. After that, it's going to be something else. And then you're going to be weaning, and then it's going to be not potty training, but then they'll be walking, then it'll be potty training. It will always be some other transition. So, we need to be mindful. If you're overwhelmed, like if you gotta step away and figure out what's going on here, um, journal. A lot of times we do not like to address our feelings because we think they're negative. So if it's
Yes.
anger, resentment, and so on, but really those feelings give us an idea of okay, so what is going on, where this is coming from, what may have triggered this, and it gives you a clue is as to what you may need to pull back on or what you need to remove, whatever. So being mindful so that it helps you to be more intentional. I can't get the laundry done. Okay, persons can't help, but there's a laundry service out there I'm going to have to utilize. It could be something as simple as that, so you can have time for yourself and to also connect with your baby so you're more present.
Yeah.
So journaling as well is very important. And just talking to someone, it doesn't always have to be a professional, but sometimes having a conversation or even a grown up conversation where you know you'll get the support or someone that could just listen, that helps. You'd be surprised. Going for a little walk so you get away from the whole situation. Go for a walk 20 minutes to a half hour in the neighborhood, get some fresh air. All of these things are, they may seem simple, but they are so important with
Effective.
regards to your mental health.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And really effective, I believe. So finding, and it could be hard, especially when you're in the thick of it, right?
Yes.
To think, oh, I don't have any time
Mhm.
to do these things. But it should be so much better. Feel so much better when you actually, like you say, get out the house
Yes.
and
But I
go for a
also
walk,
think if
maybe.
you can allow others, and I know people may not watch the videos like you would and whatever, but if we can allow others to take on those roles just for that short period of time, it allows you and your child to bond. It allows you to see that you are not who you thought you were, or I'm stronger than I thought. A lot of these things occur. Sometimes persons I would encourage to process their birth, because when you process that birth story and even write it out, because it may be good or bad, traumatic, whatever, it also helps you to understand how you transition into motherhood. And while we're talking about transitioning into motherhood, one of the words we use is matrescence.
Okay, break that down for me. Matrescence.
Yes, so matrescence was coined by a lady in the 70s. She also coined the word doula, but she worked with mothers in the 70s and she realized that motherhood was similar to adolescence. So, you know, when you're an adolescence, you know that you're not a child anymore, but you're not an adult either. So, it's this crossroad of sorts or this bridge that you're at. When you become a mother, is similar to that. So, you don't know anything about breastfeeding, you've carried this child. I'm supposed to feel this connection with this child comes, but it may or may not happen.
Yes, that's true. It doesn't
Right?
happen for everybody.
So, this process, this transitionary process into motherhood, is called Matressence because it's an unknown space that I now have to kind of live and start to grow in and see who I am as I evolve in it
True,
of
true.
sorts.
Yeah. You now have another hat, and it's really interesting because before the baby comes, like you have like maybe in your mind how you want to be and who you are and
Hmm.
that kind of thing. But then when the baby gets here, oh my gosh, it's a whole nother thing. It's like,
Hmm.
wait, yeah, I am really sure I know gotta
Yeah.
find,
Yes.
my own
Figure it
path
all out.
when it
Yeah.
comes to, yeah, being a mom.
So that's why I said it's experiential because if I compare my children, if I had my son first, I would probably want like 10 children.
Really?
He slept through the night, like in the first or second week. I would breastfeed him, put him down. He was like the sweetest thing. My daughter, no.
Boy.
She always wanted me. She had colic. It was a lot, and I had her first.
Right. And she was the first
And
one.
so it's like so when I found out I was pregnant again, I was like, this child is not even sleeping through the night as yet. How you mean I can have another child? Like would the other child be like this? But each child is different. And with
Yes.
matrescence, every time you have a baby, matrescence restarts. So you become a
Okay.
mother again. And so it helped me to understand why mothers would say, or even siblings would say, well, you had the same mother that I had. Because motherhood looks different each child that you have because each child isn't the same child.
Right.
The
Exactly.
temperament is different, the gender may be different. It's not that one is a favorite, but it's just that you have to, as a mother, nurture both of them in a different way so that they are parented and reared in the best way for them. And So understanding that you are transitioning constantly as a mother, but then also as a person, helps you to see that you're not very perfect, but you're doing what you need to do. And
Exactly.
so asking for help is not a bad thing. It's not so bad, especially in Mumshaven, I
Right.
need help.
Yeah.
Those are three words that we struggle with as women, and then as mothers, it is worse.
I don't know why. I think, well, I know why. I
It's
think it's,
shame.
yeah, and I think society expects
Yeah.
us to
The
know
patriarchal
and to
motherhood.
do it,
Yeah.
without any
Is
complaining
your
or
child how
even
you ain't
wanting
know
to.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So.
another thing too, like, and I gotta blame other or maybe older moms for
Mm-hmm.
just coming and butting in and just like
Mm-hmm.
offering your unsolicited advice about just
Yes.
no. I mean, there. I yes, I
Teach.
encourage. Yes, I encourage. I guess advice that is helpful. But
Right.
you looking at me, oh, you should got socks, but he wait, what?
Yeah.
Why got
Yep.
socks? He want a hat like
Mm-hmm.
because these things aren't helpful.
All right.
It comes across as negative and like you don't know what you're doing, and
Mm.
more importantly that you're being a bad parent or mom because you don't got socks on your child or you don't got a hat on your head or
Yeah.
and so the older moms are the people who just feel like the need to please stop.
Yes,
That
please.
mom does not want your unsolicited advice. She does not need it. In fact, what you should probably say is you're doing a good job.
Oh yeah. And that's why I
That
always tell
probably
them.
is what she needs to hear at that point in time because you question it for a long time. All like, no, I still do, you know, am I
And the
doing
little
enough?
things we don't notice. I remember, and that's something I mentioned shortly. My husband, I remember when after we had our son, I missed out a critical part. When I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, it was in my last year at UWI as well. So I actually had to push it back
So,
because I had to do my
so
internship
studying marriage
and
and
two children.
pregnancy. Oh my gosh.
You see, support is so important. The teacher that was in charge of our internship, when I told him I was pregnant for the second time, he laughed. And he is a male, right? I
He
said,
laughed.
sir, he said, I have something to tell you. Last year, when you told me you were pregnant the first time, I was driving out the back gate of UE. And now I'm driving through the back gate of UE, and you're telling me this for the second time. So this means that you're supposed to do your internship while you're having this baby.
Shoot.
So he thought it was funny because he's an older guy.
Her.
And but he was so supportive because even when I was pregnant with my daughter, he was advocating for me. But they had a department, she was like, nah, you gotta push it back, you gotta push it back and see against society, right? And this is a man who has children, an older man. This lady that was running the department at the time, she was an older lady, she didn't have children or anything. So in her mind, she's like, but Lucinda, you don't know what type of child you may have, you need to. And I was like, mom, my parents, I got it. I got it worked out. She was not having it.
She telling you no. You saying yes. At
Yeah,
least let you try it. She
you
telling you no.
understand. And the thing is, he was allowing me to start my work earlier so that then, like in January, because my daughter was born in October. School starts in September. So he was like, okay, I could do a summer thing with you so that after you have the baby in October, then you can resume with the entire class in January. I thought it was so brilliant. But she was like,
What?
so when I was pregnant the second time, he didn't even mention it. Like we just rolled with it. But he was just so supportive. And after I had gotten my degree and everything, sent out all of these job letters, nobody ain't taking me on. And one day I came home because the house used to be clean. I didn't have anything else to do. Like I started to like know everything the children would do. They would learn to write. Like I did my little classes with them during the day. They would have
Nice.
nap time, snap time, all that. Like if they're at the nursery.
Right.
And by the time my husband comes home, like everything is done. Food cooked, house clean. Like I be like, I need to find something else to do.
Right.
And he was like, but why you keep saying that? I said, because, it will help with us, expense wise and stuff. He's like, listen, do not worry about all of this. Take your time. A job will come and it's going to be one that suits our family dynamic. If we were both working, we may have to pay someone to clean because we won't have the time.
Right.
And then you have to be paying two sets of nursery fees. So still see it as you're still,
Helping out.
yeah, it's still a
Yeah.
contribution. Don't see it as,
I
oh, I
mean,
want to work.
but it is though. It really is.
Yeah. He's
Because
like, all of this has a cost.
it's true.
And I was like,
You doing what the nursery, yeah, would have been doing. You're
so when
right.
he told me that, I was so appreciative. And this is the last postpartum group that just finished. We call it Matressence. It's a Matressence group. We had a few partners participating as well. And that was a highlight for me because they were involved. They were taking notes. They were asking questions. And it was like, this is so good for fathers to be so willing and understanding the whole dynamic and providing the support that their partner would need
Yeah.
in this process. I
Yeah.
was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah.
That for me, that was a success story in
Nice.
itself.
Nice. So can you give us an example, maybe like a challenging situation that one of your, I guess I would call them client or moms face, and how you guided them through it? Just in case it's something that other moms might be going through
All
right
right.
now, that might need a little help.
So one of the mothers that comes to my mind, she did reach out for help. She was like, yeah, Lucinda, I need some sort of coaching or something. One of her challenges was navigating parenting because the age gap. She has like a 10-year age gap. She has a teenager and then a younger, like a 7-year old.
Okay.
So
She
it's
doing it
like,
fresh again. Kind
yeah. And so obviously she can't parent both the same way. So there are clashes constantly. And she was struggling because she felt like, okay, I have routines, I have all of these things she didn't know. So we actually worked through routines. We started over. Like we looked at age appropriate chores because, so that they could help with some of the load. And then I actually did a house visit and we chatted, but I helped her declutter because let me tell you, when things are out of place, everything in your head is out of place as well. And so home never feels like home. It doesn't feel like I could breathe. And it's like you're taking yesterday into tomorrow, into the next day, into the next day. And so she was so grateful. Like she was like, I never think of it being as hands on as decluttering. When you think about mental health, you think, oh, come into my office. No, sometimes I
right.
go into your space and
Right.
we will see how we're gonna work through what's
Yes.
going on here,
Yes.
and we will flow with that. So now her routines look a little different. And her frustration too was that she just moved, and she was like, things were always all over the place. I don't want to move into a new
No.
space
Right.
for this to continue. And so she was really grateful. She was so grateful. Yeah. So we do things like that, hands on,
I like
solution
that.
focused stuff as
I
well.
like that. Yeah. Because yeah, every mom's situation will be unique. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it'll be okay to say, well, you gotta do this, you should do this, or whatever. But once you go get into their home and see how their dynamics are, then you kind of create, I guess, once a custom solution for them,
Yeah.
how to like navigate
Mm-hmm.
everything in their life. So that's actually a really good example. And then it would also help the moms that are listening to kind of like take the education, but then you still have to apply it
Apply it. Yep.
to where you are in your journey and
Mm.
how you are and everything. Because you were saying you had like little classes and stuff, and I was like, I did not. And I try to keep him entertained, but I did not do any little classes.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I don't I yeah, maybe I didn't. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to, I guess, take the education side of it and play it to your lifestyle and how you are and was really was best for you.
Yeah.
So
Because
I
what
have to
works for
ask.
me may not work for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So Mom's Haven is essentially like a non-profit, or is this
I have not decided as yet, to be honest. I guess because we're still at the beginning stages. I'm still trying to feel out where we are headed.
right, right,
Because I know it's a huge need in society. So it would be useful if it is nonprofit. If it is nonprofit though, there are things that I will have to put in place to for it to really function in the light that I would love it to,
okay, okay,
in
okay,
terms of grants and so on. So
yeah,
I'm trying to figure out where we're going.
right.
But so I'm
But right
trusting
now
this
this is
process.
you're right. But
Yeah.
right now this is not a paid like moms
Yeah,
do
it
moms
is a
pays.
service.
Okay,
So the plan is for the coaching and the groups, it will be a paid service. But then I
okay,
want to offer eventually, I want to start doing more lives and interviews so that I can get the education out there a lot more so we can have
right.
similar conversations. In the near future, I want to have a podcast as well.
Oh,
And
hello.
yeah, so we're going to talk about a lot of topics.
Yeah,
Want to have a blog out there. So a lot of those things will be still free options.
right. Like free
Yeah,
resources that you could
free
tap
resources.
into
Yeah,
without
yeah,
having to sign off for a coaching program. Okay, because then
yeah,
my next question was like, how do you get the word out there for Mom's Haven? Do
yeah.
you
I'm
employ
working
any
on that.
marketing strategies?
Not
Okay.
as yet. Listen, I started and stopped, and then remember I told you with COVID. I with you. I got you. So we're gonna work on that together. Um, and being a mother as well. I think I know I see Mum Saving as having a team of people, preferably
Right.
mothers,
Right.
and we will execute the vision together. I'm hoping that we don't just stay in Barbados, we could at least go into the region and even further.
I mean, once you have a virtual kind of
Space.
setup, there's no
Mm,
boundaries of the moms that you could reach. And then,
yeah.
of course, each country would be a little bit different when it comes to
Hmm.
support
Yeah.
for moms. Because I think it's like Canada that allows you to stay home with your
For
kid
like a
for like
year.
a
And
year.
then you
I
can
was
ask
like,
for an additional year.
really?
I love it.
It's paid.
Oh,
I
yes.
think maybe
I think the
after a
first year
certain
is
point
paid and the second
is like
is unpaid.
half or like
Yes,
a
something like that.
portion or something like that. I also know when I was in the UK and I was studying over there, like I would see I was so often like jobs for like a maternity coverage and it would be for
Hmm.
like a year. So you would just
Oh,
cover
that's
this person
wonderful.
for like a year.
So even things like that, I wanna tap into organizations just to feel them out and see, okay, what would this look like? Because mothers, especially, have been the ones raising society. We've been the ones that nurture society. And so, if you understand how valuable we are, then yes, us working can't just be to facilitate the same child care that we can't get through a relative. It
Right.
has to be more beneficial for us as well. So.
The other thing too is paternity leave,
Yes,
longer paternity leave,
yeah,
a week or sometimes maybe a day or
sometimes.
two.
And a
But
lot
they're
of
doing
dads take vacation along with the paternity leave. And then I'm like,
yes.
but then when he actually needs vacation, what's going to happen? But
He's stressed out with his
you
vacation
gotta
and
do,
the little week. You know what I mean? And then yeah, he doesn't have any time off.
yeah.
Like there needs to be, especially when there is no village and it's just you and your partner.
Mhm.
Yes, you need that help. You don't know. As soon as my husband got home, it's
Yeah, yeah,
right? And you might say, "Oh, but you was home all day, yada yada." No, you need a break from
yeah.
this little baby that you love so much and real
Hmm.
cute and goofy. But yeah, just I need a break. So
Hmm.
you got a tag team.
Yeah.
You got a tag team that. So it would be really good if fathers got more time to be
Yeah.
home, helping out. Like it's not just a mom's. role,
Yeah.
to bring up a child, especially in these challenges, kind of transitional times,
Mm.
right? And so society needs to get with it and be like, just fathers probably need just as much time so that mommy can get a little time to like work on
Yeah.
yourself and like heal and that
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. So, you
Yeah.
need the help. And yes, daddies could be bonding with their kids as well during this time,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So, okay. So we coming down to the end of it now. So, but
Yes.
what advice would you give to new moms who might be overwhelmed by the vast amount of parenting information available? Because there is a lot.
There's a lot. I saw a reel yesterday with how this gentle parenting thing don't work.
Yes. Oh my God, gentle parenting. I tired of
And I
it.
laughed. Yeah, but I would say just mothering is experiential. If nothing else you take from this is experiential. And you have to take what goes for you and what works for you and your family. You can take some or you can take all, but every single thing that's out there you can't take. It's not gonna work. It may make you feel a little more overwhelmed than you actually need. So
Yeah, but how do
how do
you
you know?
yeah, because like all right, okay, this buddy's a doctor, so I gotta listen to this buddy say, oh, this buddy is a mom of six. You know what I mean? So should
Right.
I listen to her because she got experience being a mom? Like, so
Hmm.
how do you know with all the wealth of information? They got apps out there and like
Hmm.
communities that you could join and that kind of stuff. So like, yeah, how there are books, like there's so many different resources out
Yeah.
there, and a lot of people pelt the stuff on you, like
Yeah.
so you gotta read. You should read upon this and
Hmm.
this guide and this guide. So how do you know how to like what to take on and what to how?
Honestly, if you can start practicing the mindfulness like we would have talked about earlier, because you will have a clearer mind, it will help you to know, okay, this is what I think I need, at least think you need. So it will help you to not dissect a little more. So if you realize your need is that your child is a picky eater, for example, you can then be more specific about what your need is as opposed to just it being so broad and you're trying all of these things which will make you feel like you're an awful person in the end because you're
I
not
know,
doing it and
right?
it's just not working.
Yeah,
So yeah, just try to figure out what I'm lacking, what do I need help in. Yes, there are communities out there, but again, every community may not be for you. One thing that the mothers did share for Mumshaven was the authenticity. Some communities are just very surfaced and very much my baby this and my baby that. Let's do play dates and let's all the
yes,
lovely stuff.
yes,
But you're not always hearing like this child that drives me up a wall sometimes. Like sometimes I don't even know if I like this child. It's like, oh, you
exactly.
too? I
You
thought that
don't want
something
to.
was wrong with me.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know. So
yeah.
we have that kind of dialogue.
Yeah,
And then
like
we
you
work
want to
on
love them and squeeze
solutions.
them and pelt them way at the same time. I like 1 minute love and squeeze is so cute, and then the next minute just like pelt.
Yeah. So we can have those real conversations, but then there's
Yes,
those solutions.
right,
Um or someone like the same group,
right,
they started a WhatsApp chat. And so, because they're now in the nesting, so everybody's just waiting. So the other day, one of the mothers got her baby, and she's like, this morning she actually put a message. She's like, "Hi, ladies, this was my experience, and these are some things I didn't think about." And she gave them she was so thorough. All of the ladies were so appreciative. They're like, "Oh, okay, I didn't
oh,
know that I needed to have this." And this other mother was like, "Oh, I got this from so and so place. So try, y'all could check and see. If not here, try there." And I was like,
right,
this group is working, and I'm not even really in it
like
as much,
right, right,
right?
right.
It is so powerful and beautiful.
That's so good. I do remember feeling a little bit alone when it came to prep. And seeing and I was watching a lot of YouTube videos of
Yeah.
like moms like this is when my hospital bag, that kind of thing. And
Yep.
then I had the list from the
It's very
hospital
confusing.
and I was like, but this don't match back with this. And apparently the hospitals in the States also give
Give you
you
stuff.
stuff
I love
to kind
that.
of like, like was it like a Perry bottle, to
Mm-hmm.
help when you, and I was like, all of this, but we don't, well, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And I almost bought, there was like this kind of package, but I would have to get it from overseas
Mm-hmm.
where it came with the diapers and the cooling pads and all this kind of thing for the first couple of days. And I was like, but why
Mm-hmm.
we don't
Yeah.
have anything like this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like okay, and I know some women, they also have what you call it, C-sections, so they
Mm-hmm.
don't, they don't have a vaginal birth, so their healing and their
Yeah.
recuperation will
This
be
scar.
different. But like even that, and having something for that, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
lot.
we need more.
We do. Because the
We need
most you
more.
see would be breast pumps, breast pads. You may see some lanolin, you may see a boppy pillow, but that's still for the baby. But
They
there
got the
isn't
little six
much.
bath bowl. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
there ain't many specific mother specific things. And
Yeah.
so yeah. So but when we have our meeting, we'll talk
Yeah.
about
Yes.
all
Yes.
of those things.
Yes. Because I
Yeah.
do see a lot of opportunity for Mom's Haven
Yeah, for sure.
just when it comes to, yeah, along the way, but more as soon as this baby pops out,
Mm-hmm.
even a little bit before,
Yeah.
and then as soon as like having that emotional
Mm.
and physical support
Yeah.
and community to just like help you. I remember just calling the nurses at the hospital for like
Mm-hmm.
every little thing. The part is supposed to be bleeding, the navel part is supposed to. I ain't really like how it look, like what to do. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
every little
Yeah.
thing, especially you're like kind of hyper focused on your child and every little thing that could be
Yeah.
wrong, and you're like questioning.
Mm-hmm.
They give
Got
me
you.
this precious cargo and tell me to keep it alive. So, but I got questions, right?
Yes.
So the yes, I do see a lot of opportunity for Mom's Haven.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna ask you, or I was gonna end off by asking, like, what's next for Mom's Haven? But we got a lot of work to do,
We got a
right?
lot of work to do.
We
We
got a
do.
lot of work to do.
We do.
Policy stuff seems to be in the works
Yes.
too, right?
Yes.
In terms of, and also yes, the community side of it and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. The educational
And
side.
for me, it's not only policy. I wanna get into literature because a lot of the literature out there is like American or European specific,
Right.
but we
Yes,
can relate to Jamaicans and Trinidadians and
we
a
can.
lot more. And it reminds me of, I don't know if you did sociology. You did sociology at any point,
Mm-mm.
but there was a study. There was a Caribbean sociology book, and they looked at matriarchal, um, a matriarchal society in the Caribbean.
Or maybe I did. Yes. Go ahead. This sounded
Right.
familiar.
And it stimulated a lot of thought in my mind when I was at UE because it was normal for us, for our grandmothers or our mothers to raise us and still raise us well. But when you look at, let's say, African Americans, yes, they talk about those things, but oftentimes it's like the father was in jail or whatever. But for us,
Yes.
it's because we had village as well. Sometimes it might just be that the parents weren't living together, but granny would take care of everybody, live up the line, and the aunts and the cousin would come down, kind of thing.
A lot of nuclear families
Yeah.
or
But
extended families. What's called it now?
extended families, yeah.
Yeah.
All living on the same property of sorts, and you just go to another house or auntie send this food for you, auntie just
Yes.
cook kind of thing. And we
Yeah.
could relate to that in the Caribbean. But that's not a narrative that is common, or I don't think it's
Elsewhere.
really written anywhere.
Yeah.
So when I think about Mum's Haven, I'm like, if you look at the matriarchal society as a whole literature book in sociology, well, now we got to look at mothering in the Caribbean and what that looks like, be it nuclear or whatever, but what it actually looks like. Would we maybe come up with a new name? Like how Matressence
Mm. Yes.
Is a term that we use. There might be something that is common among all of us and our other island brothers and sisters that is just unique. And so
Right.
I'm just so excited. Like even how we eat.
Yeah.
We eat
Yeah.
differently.
And what we eat. You're right.
International persons, like,
Yeah. I
breadfruit
know
cuckoo and
nobody talking
stuff.
about. I was just gonna say I know nobody talking about breadfruit, cuckoo, and saltfish, and that is
Yeah,
bull.
yeah.
But pickle.
So,
So
hmm so I see it going that far, but I'm trying not to get too excited. Let me work with
yeah,
what's here.
you just
We
gotta
will
phase
plan to
it.
suit. Yeah,
Yeah, you just gotta phase it and yeah, just work towards the different steps as you go. But it definitely has a lot of legs on it and it has the
yeah.
potential to be very, very huge. I even saw recently, is it in Japan or China? You know, you have like these postpartum hotels. I don't know if you saw them where
So
you would
beautiful.
go there and they take care of the baby and you got
Hmm.
classes and they cook for you and you don't got to
Yes,
worry about
I would love to
nothing.
do that too.
You know what I
Even if I
mean?
attach the, you know, I don't know, baby or something in the nursery of sorts or whatever. I don't
Right,
know.
right. But you know what? Just yeah, a hotel, or maybe we got build one. Who knows what we do?
It's true.
And yeah, they got like the little nursery down there and
Yeah,
employing nurses and that kind of thing. We got a lot of legs, but we need to do something for sure. And the fact that they have services like that shows that
hmm
there is a need, and I'm pretty
yeah, there
sure
is.
we can scrunch and save to
Mm-hmm.
make sure if that was available, we
Exactly.
can scrunch and
Yeah.
save because we
Yeah.
want that. We
Or
want that.
how
Like
can insurance help with that? Even if you got to pay a little more or whatever. I
exactly,
don't know. But
exactly.
culturally, for Asians, though, whenever you have a baby, the mother is taking care. She doesn't do anything
Right.
but breastfeed the baby. When the baby cries, they will bring them so that they can bond and nurse. But then they
Mhm.
cook and everything for them. It is like a traditional thing.
Amazing.
So I guess they're modernizing it now because more people may be working or whatever. I don't know why, but it's good. It's a good
It's
start still.
amazing. Agreed. Agreed. All right. Well, thank you, Lucinda. This has been an
You're
amazing
most welcome.
conversation, and one that is definitely necessary when it comes to postpartum anything.
Yeah,
So this podcast is really for women 35 and over, but I mean
yeah,
this this
it's
mom's haven
needed.
could be for any age, really, once you
And we
become a
start from
mom.
postpartum
Right.
and we work with mothers. Remember the example I gave you? That mother, she had a 7 year old and a 17-year old. So it's not only, ideally, I would love to work with you from postpartum so that we could kind of grow.
Right.
But as long as you're a mother, you are part of Mumshaven.
Okay. So how do people get in contact with you? I'll put the Instagram handle on
Mm-hmm.
the video somewhere. But is there any other ways, maybe an email address, or do you just
So,
prefer Instagram?
well, Instagram can work, or we can, my email address is havenmums@gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you again. And if you ladies want help postpartum coaching and everything, reach out to Lucinda from Mom's Haven. Again, thank you, Lucinda,
You're
so much.
welcome.
Thank you for joining us on another Wellness and Growth Journeys podcast. Now, if you're inspired to elevate your health and wellness business, the Wellness Growth Agency is here to guide you. We specialize in tailored digital marketing strategies to enhance your client engagement, grow your practice, and improve overall satisfaction. Let's unlock the potential of your business together. Visit us at wellnessgrowthagency.com to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more insightful episodes. Until next time, keep thriving and remember, wellness is a journey. Growth is the destination.